actually, you could say that there are 3 different tiers. There's the Bucks and Celtics, both at 54.5. Then this is the next tier, Suns and Nuggets, 52.5. And then there's only one other team that is above 48.5, and it's the Cavs at 50.5. I'm taking the over with the Suns. I'm not overthinking this. The notion that this team is going to lose 30, they would have to lose 30 games to not hit this over under. It's basically me betting that Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker will all play around 65 games apiece, and that the overlap of missed games between where at least we're like more than one of them miss a game, there's going to be hopefully not more than 5 or 6 or 7 of those games. Now, obviously that's somewhat out of their control. Injuries happen when they're going to happen, but like you go into a season, even with Booker, with those 3 guys planning on, we're not getting 75 games, or we may not even get 65, but as long as they spread out the missed games where it's at least 2 of them, I have enough confidence that with 2 of those 3 on the floor, yes, I know it's a thin supporting cast. I just think the offense is going to be so good. I think, spoiler alert, I think they're going to be the best offense in the league. That, like, what do they need to defend at? Do they need to be a top half of the league defense to win, to get this over? I don't, something like that.
So this is my first under. Because
I'm shocked.
I mean,
legitimately shocked.
You say that them losing 30 games would be a shocker, and them. I think this is going to follow the Nets model that KD. I'm just not projecting him to play more than 45 games. I know you said 65 games is the ask. I actually think that's a pretty healthy ask of a team that has Kevin Durant on it. I think it's a healthy ask of a team with Bradley Beal on it. This is a team that is built for the playoffs. This is a team that does not care about said regular season. I understand the emphasis of participation has been put out there by the higher ups in the NBA. This is a team that will make sure they are healthy for the postseason. And while I do think that this is like could win 51 games is like in play, I'm not going to say that this team, like Devin Booker,
53 they need to win 53 to hit.
Right. So that's the thing. Like if they win 52, that makes sense to me. That's not going to shock me, especially in a crowded Western Conference, especially in a crowded division that they exist in. So while I'm not saying this team's bad, this team is overrated, this team is going to underachieve, 51-31 is not crazy. The Warriors won the title a couple years ago with 53 wins. The Nuggets won the title last year with 53 wins, a team that coasted over the last 24 games of the season. So while I recognize the ceiling of this team is exactly where you're saying it, I do not think they will play enough regular season games to see that ceiling enough, and we'll see it when the postseason comes around.
Look, the notion that they're going to go like all out to make sure that they don't have to play a Game 7 in Denver, I agree with you. I don't think they are.
I don't think they care.
I don't think they care. Kevin Durant can win. Feels like he can win a game anywhere. Same thing with Booker, Bradley Beal, the whole thing. That said, I do think they're going to care about the regular season more than you think. I don't necessarily have logic to that. Maybe it has something to do with the new owner. He obviously has thrown financial concerns out the window with how they've gone about building this team.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if there isn't some minor expectation of like a return on investment there in the form of like, hey, let's give the fans what they paid to see. Let's put on a good show. They're obviously going to be on a lot of national TV games. And hovering over all of this is the report, quote unquote report, that the NBA just released, which they
What was that? Finish the sentence. I cut you off, but like the NBA basically released actually science doesn't tell you to miss games.
Yeah, like load management is bullshit. I found some of the memes in response to that were really quite brilliant. Look, we don't need to talk about it. Teams are still going to do what they're going to do for the most part, but I don't know. I think there is a level of separation. And not to say that there aren't Western teams, and we'll talk about some of them that like couldn't try hard their way into having a better record than the Suns or the next team we're going to talk about. But I also don't think the Suns want to tempt fate that much. Like, are they comfortable being the 3 seed? Are they comfortable being the 4 seed? Like, if the 1 or the 2 is attainable easily enough, and I think it will be, I think they're going to go for it, which is the same philosophy I have about the other team, which again, Denver, defending world champions, 153 last year, where for the you said it was the last 24 games. I think it was longer than that they were kind of on autopilot.
I went and found, so how I did my over-unders was I went and looked for certain stretches. Yeah. They were 41-18 at the All-Star break. And that like they were number 1 offense in the league when that happened at the All-Star break. Yes. Then they went 12-11 the final 23 games. So that's the math I'm doing. They literally after the All-Star break said Embiid's probably going to win the MVP. Jokic doesn't care if he wins the MVP. We really don't have much to play for. The West is, with what's going on in Memphis, we don't really have to worry about a team catching us. We're going to make sure that we have a 1 seed and get to the playoffs. I think they could have won 60 games last year, which is why this is over for me. But I also, I think this is a team that could have won, like I said, could have won more and didn't because of those last 23 games.
It's fair to say that it started at the All-Star break. I do just want to note that they were 33-13. They were 20 games over 500 when they beat Indiana on January 20th. So with 3 months to go in the regular season, essentially, they were 20 games over 500. They finished the season 24 games over 500. So they were, what does that math work out to? 20-16, right? Over the last, that's closer to half a season than a third of the season. I mean, look, I think there was a lot of talk last year about like what's going on with the Nuggets. Should we be worried about the Nuggets? Is this just nothing to be worried about? Turned out to be nothing to be worried about. Maybe they do the same thing again. I don't know. I think teams react to winning a championship in different ways. I think they're going to react I think they're going to elevate. I think you're going to go up a notch. So I'm taking 2 overs to start. What are you taking on Denver?
I'm taking the over. I think I think they will want to make sure because of how good I think 2, 3, and 4 are going to be in this conference.
Okay.
I think they'll actually recognize the home court advantage that it dictates. I also, again, whatever checkpoint you want to point to with last season, there was a clear, all right, we got this. Like we see what the peak of this team is. We're built for the playoff run. We will make sure we have a 1 seed, and then our A game will not be necessary to get it. So I think this could have been a 60 win team last year, and instead they settled for 53, which would be the over. So if they win 55 this year, 56 this year, that's how good I think they could be.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting a 60 win team in the West.
I don't either.
Yeah. If we get one, I think it'll be in the East.